remaining Cup Series years. And yeah, congrats to Harvick. I mean, he definitely earned that one.
Can I interrupt the show because we have some pretty big breaking news?
Go for it.
Denny Hamlin just announced that himself and Michael Jordan are starting a new single-car NASCAR Cup Series team with Bubba Wallace driving. So that's pretty massive news there. So I'll just read out the statement here. 11 years ago, I met Michael Jordan at a then Charlotte Bobcats game, and we became fast friends. I assume pun not intended. Not long after, I joined Jordan Brand as their first NASCAR athlete. Our friendship has grown over the years, and now we are ready to take it to the next level. Tonight, I'm excited to announce that MJ and I are starting a new single-car NASCAR Cup Series team for 2021. Deciding on a driver was easy. It had to be Bubba Wallace. Bubba has shown tremendous improvement since joining the Cup Series, and we believe he's ready to take his career to a higher level. He deserves the opportunity to compete for race wins, and our team will make sure he has the resources to do just that. Off the track, Bubba has been a loud voice for change in our sport and our country. MJ and I fully support him in those efforts and stand beside him. More details about the team will be released at a later date, but for now, I remain focused on winning a championship for my number 11 FedEx Toyota Joe Gibbs Racing team this season and in the years ahead. How about that for a bombshell in the middle of the show?
Oh my gosh. I mean, we talked about it before the show kind of really, or like at the beginning of the show, the speculation.
Beginning of the show.
And I guess our prediction became a reality here as Denny Hamlin is kind of getting into the ownership business here. It seems like something that we hadn't really seen out of a Cup Series driver for a long time here. Obviously, Kyle Busch with his Truck Series program, but we've seen Brad Keselowski and Kevin Harvick's teams kind of fold here over the past decade. But this brings in a new entry into the Cup Series. Obviously, this is breaking news to me. I'd love to just kind of understand it, but obviously, it's going to go to the 13 car. It seems that's going to be where it goes.
Yeah, it seems like that's what they've purchased what makes there, sense, right? And it'll certainly be Toyota. It'll be JGR aligned with Bubba Wallace there. We're talking furniture row level stuff. I'm hoping it's number 23. Man.
How about Bubba Wallace getting a chance and Michael Jordan coming into NASCAR at a very high level?
Remember last year, the championship race, Michael Jordan was there, Dale Jr. interviewed him, and he asked him the question, would you ever become a NASCAR owner? And he was basically like, no,
he's playing coy with it.
Crazy what not even a full year can do, but that's pretty crazy stuff right there. MJ
Let's
and
hope
Denny
it's
Hamlin
23. Let's hope it's 23. It's got to be 23.
It better be 23.
Just move the 1 up to a 2. That's basically all they got to do. But
that's pretty crazy stuff. Whether you talk about from just when you talk about having Michael Jordan in the sport as an owner, that's massive because you're talking about getting NBA interest from there, and that's talking about tapping into a younger audience if you're NASCAR, and the interest there, whether it's in Bubba Wallace, having a competitive driver currently in Denny Hamlin involved as well, and of course Michael Jordan, the GOAT there, involved in the team. That's pretty incredible stuff. Obviously, bare bones announcement, just a quick tweet essentially from Denny Hamlin with a couple pictures. So you have more?
Yeah, from Bob Pockris. So this is Michael Jordan quote. Growing up in North Carolina, my parents would take my brothers, sisters, and me to races, and I've been a NASCAR fan my whole life. The opportunity to own my own racing team in partnership with my friend Denny Hamlin and to have Bubba Wallace driving for us is very exciting. And then obviously just to confirm it here that they have purchased the charter from Germain Racing, and Michael Jordan will serve as principal owner of the new team with Hamlin as a minority partner while he continues to drive the number 11 Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. Bubba Wallace is driver in a multi-year deal. And the car number, manufacturer, official team number, team name, sponsors, all to be determined according to a news release. So that's from Bob Pockris, obviously reliable there, but
yeah,
wow.
If we're talking about guesses
they couldn't wait until our next show to release it. They had to do it now.
I don't hate the live reaction. I kind of like it, and it was good timing because it was right at the end of the Bristol race as well. We'll talk about our recap, our notable finishers, coaches threes, all that in a minute. But this matters a lot more right here. Car number, I think we can assume it'll be 23 because that's not up on the grid right now. That seems like a pretty good fit when Michael Jordan is the primary owner. If you're talking about manufacturer, with Denny Hamlin's influence almost certainly Toyota. Bubba Wallace, as we mentioned these last couple weeks, former Kyle Busch Motorsports driver, so has Toyota ties as well. Official team name, we'll see what happens there. Sponsors, if we're talking about some of the recent signings on with Bubba Wallace.
Got a whole bunch. He's got a whole bunch.
Cash App, Columbia Sportswear. You even have Beats by Dre as a personal sponsor that might have more influence now with Michael Jordan there. If we're talking about Bubba Wallace as well,
Jordan sponsor car.
Certainly guarantee you that he's now a Jordan athlete going forward, because he already had those Nike ties as well. So there's a lot going forward here. This is some massive, massive news. And I don't know if this will maybe be a JGR line team or if this will be a Toyota team on its own. And then that JGR line team becomes that Gaunt Brothers team. We'll see if something happens there to kind of maybe get around those rules about Denny Hamlin not being able to drive for a team and then act as like the fifth. Like, I don't think
be
that's
a fifth car. The JGR is essentially that's why Jordan is the majority owner. That's why they're obviously they've talked to NASCAR and they've gotten their approval. I've got a Bubba Wallace statement as well.
Okay, nice.
This is a unique, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that I believe is a great fit for me at this point in my career. How could it not be? I mean, how could you say no to that? Both Michael and Denny are great competitors and are focused on building the best team they possibly can to go out and compete for race wins. I'm grateful and humbled that Michael and Denny believe in me, and I'm super pumped to begin this adventure with them. So short and sweet for a lot of these guys in terms of the news release. Was not expecting this on a Monday night, but
no kidding. Weird time to announce it, but hey, as soon as you got everything signed, might as well send it out.
Yeah, I mean, wow. Hamlin has said that this is starting a race team has been something that Michael and I have talked about for a while, playing golf together over the years, but the timing or circumstances were never really right. Oh, that's an interesting
That's the
quote.
most Michael Jordan way to discuss something.
Yeah,
oh, man,
it just makes sense now to lay the foundation for my racing career after I'm done driving. Interesting there. And also help an up-and-coming driver like Bubba take his career to a higher level. Plus, Michael and Bubba can be a powerful voice together. That's very true. And not only in our sport, but also well beyond it. So that's very powerful statements.
Wow.
And I love it. I'm so happy that Bubba is going back to the Toyota camp, back to his roots. We talked about this last week on the
of course, not confirmed that it's Toyota, but it's Toyota.
It's going to be Toyota. I imagine that they would go to Toyota.
That's crazy,
but other than that, wow, what a day for news here.
No kidding. Out of nowhere.
Bubba Wallace is off the free agent market as well. So, but that's obviously still some good competitive rides like we talked about at the beginning.
And yeah, that's the key there because it takes a competitive ride, but it's a competitive ride that's brand new. It's taking over for the 13 car. So, of course, Ty Dillon is left a free agent. Something will happen there potentially. But what that means is at the very least, we have another potential race-winning car going into next season, we assume. Of course, with Toyota there, Michael Jordan, Denny Hamlin, everyone involved there, we would assume at this point in time that'll be very competitive equipment. Everything that we've heard from the Pockris reports and everything, that it'll be furniture row level stuff. That was kind of leaning towards the Gaunt Brothers stuff, not necessarily a Denny Hamlin, Michael Jordan team. But this is remarkable stuff. Talk about a news day. Chastain in the 42, Circuit of the Americas added to the circuit. And, oh, hey, Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin are going to own a team. And, they're going to sign Bubba Wallace, the biggest star right now in NASCAR.
Well, just think on what Jordan means to the sport. I mean, this has arguably been his biggest news year in quite some time, right?
Like, it's crazy.
When you think about the documentary The Last Dance that came out earlier this summer, and what that kind of the attention that brought back Michael Jordan of that, greatest of all time conversation. Obviously, he's always been in that, but just rehash the conversation of, you just see how much work he puts into his basketball when he was playing. But to come into motorsports is a huge investment, and I can't believe I'm obviously they made the right decision in terms of driver, and it makes this is a huge investment to have a big name, a monumental global name like Michael Jordan in motorsports. motorsports, it can only do wonders for this. I mean, how could you really say no to it? Even if it does become like a fifth car, I don't know if NASCAR really minds it in terms of having the popularity.
Well, that's the
with
thing.
Michael Jordan being
it
added
might,
to it, right? Like
because Toyota for the last couple of years has also wanted to add another car to their Cup fleet. And
sixth car,
if this situation here, you've got the 4 JGR cars, you could potentially have the independent Michael Jordan, Denny Hamlin car there with Bubba Wallace, which is a great team on its own right. And then that JGR kind of mid-tier Toyota team could be that Gaunt Brothers with that JGR Alliance if they're able to get a charter at some point here in the near future. But we're talking about a brand new competitive team with Michael Jordan, Denny Hamlin, and Bubba Wallace, three of the biggest names in and around the sport. Michael Jordan, obviously, across worldwide, but in the sport, Denny Hamlin, Bubba Wallace are two of the biggest names in the sport right now. That's pretty crazy stuff, and I'm actually glad that this broke during the show because the live reaction of this is great. Obviously, on the second show of the week, we'll talk much more about this as we get more quotes, more information about what's going to happen with this team, whether it's going to be a JGR affiliated team, if it's going to be standalone and top equipment themselves, or if there's going to be an alliance there, what happens with the rest of the silly season. But the key here is that the big domino fell today, and that's Bubba Wallace and what was going to happen with that 13 charter. We found that out today, as well as 42 car and being filled by Ross Chastain. So the dominoes are starting to fall, to say the least. And oh boy, is it exciting.
Yeah, Michael Jordan beat Floyd Mayweather to creating a NASCAR team. That's pretty funny to think about. But I can't imagine being Bubba Wallace and, getting a phone call like, hey, from Michael Jordan or Denny Hamlin, hey, so we're thinking about linking up and we'd love to have you as our driver. Well, sorry, Richard Petty. I know you're probably the greatest driver in NASCAR history, but I'm going to take this opportunity and go to something that could lead to many great things down the road. So, wow, that's insane. All right.
And again, we'll talk more about this later on this week in the second show that we do, where we do our fantasy preview coming up, but where we hit on much more of the news and notes because it usually happens on the Tuesday, Wednesday, and early Thursday. I guess they decided to drop all the bombs on Monday. I guess they got a little antsy.
I guess they knew that we record on Tuesdays. We're like, okay, we're making these guys a little too comfortable here. Let's throw a spanner in the works.
You had a first thing in the morning announcement from Ross Chastain and Chip Ganassi Racing. Then you had one in the middle of the afternoon, and now here at night, which is announced at essentially like 8:45 Eastern here. It's definitely not the time that you get most press releases, but man,
just when you think we were going to have a bit of a shorter show, they come and put this in there.
But yeah, man, we basically hit on all talk about that later this right week. Now. So we'll finish up this show by talking about the rest of Bristol that we didn't get to, which is just basically our notable finishers and everything there, and then get to Le Mans and the Xfinity Truck Series as well. But man, how about that for a bombshell in the middle of the show? I don't think we'll get something like that anytime soon.
I'm shooketh. That's awesome.